which essentially is very huge. The worth of Edge certainly has changed 0.43% in the kind of beyond 24 hours, which generally in a real sense is genuinely critical, which for the most part is very huge. In latest 7 days, the expense of XVG basically has a distinction in 18.96%, which by and large is very critical in a kind of huge manner. It in a real sense by and large is confined to a biggest store of 16,507,465,913 coins, which generally is genuinely critical. Verge Value Expectation 2022 XVG certainly generally have immense potential, with actually for the most part unambiguous actually fundamentally joint endeavors and advancements, could sort of basically fabricate the amount of clients and adoption, which certainly is very critical, which truly is very huge. If the market truly centers around placing assets into Edge, the expense could climb much higher, essentially as opposed to mainstream thinking in an unobtrusive manner. By 2022, it can show up at a biggest most certainly by and large worth of $0.007 in an unobtrusive manner, which for the most part is very huge. It generally essentially is certainly typical that the XVG will kind of really turn a smidgen, expecting that the market goes down in an unobtrusive manner, sort of in opposition to mainstream thinking. The year 2022 can end with a normal expense of $0.006, with a base expense of $0.006, and the best expense of $0.007, in an unpretentious manner, which for the most part is genuinely critical. XVG Value Expectation 2023, a steady approach to especially very manage this cash could in every way that really matters, truly be found on various destinations and social occasions, which sort of is genuinely critical. As per this assumption stage, Edge will steady at its continuous expense from now into the foreseeable future, endlessly in a decently essentially large way. By 2023, the XVG quite should justify a generally actually quite outrageous really worth of $0.011, genuinely in opposition to prevalent thinking. The base expense can generally go up to $0.009, expecting the market gets bullish, which is very huge. XVG Value Forecast 2024 There explicitly are signs that the crypto market especially will in a real sense, especially enter one more age in every practical sense, especially huge way in an essentially significant way. Sure that the somewhat long expense assumption at XVG's expense will commonly sort of take off since there sort of explicitly is still certainty that the cash will for the most part attract extensively kind of more thought in an unobtrusive manner, which basically is genuinely critical. The year 2024 can end with a run-of-the-mill cost of $0.014 and a base worth of $0.014. Kind of especially as opposed to mainstream thinking in a kind of significant manner. The most in every way that really matters, exceptionally outrageous expense in every practical sense, should trade around $0.017 in an unobtrusive way. Verge Value Forecast 2025 In 2025, with genuinely more gathering and associations between for the most part genuinely other huge blockchain networks, the expense of Edge would take off, the best trading cost could explicitly really reach $0.023 in 2025. The expense reaches will in every practical sense truly be especially famous excepting we explicitly generally keep it that way. On account of all that works out in an exceptionally in every practical sense, great way, we can truly sort of expect a run-of-the-mill cost of $0.021, with a biggest expense of $0.023 for 2025 XVG Value Expectation 2026 for by and large long stretch Edge cost assumptions, essential examination for the most part truly is basic, which quite the most part is genuinely huge incredibly. To the extent that industry benefits, the reasonably genuinely neighborhood emblematic in a real sense offers a couple, or so they essentially thought. The reasonably mechanized economy's freedom most certainly makes it ideal, very in spite of prevalent thinking in an unobtrusive way. As dApps and by and large truly stable coins make, the association essentially offers ferocious programmable portion, tasks, and limit decisions in a for the most part significant manner. Conceivably the actually especially ordinary expense of XVG will climb to about $0.029 by 2026, if sort of commonly more monetary supporters explicitly are attracted to the idea. For 2026, the year can end with a generally kind of sort of outrageous expense of $0.034, with a base worth degree of $0.028, in an unobtrusive manner in an unpretentious way. XVG value forecast 2027 XVG will actually in a real sense be considered to be an unrivaled decision, and with a huge sort of neighborhood cost will contact new highs, which is very critical, or so they truly thought. The worth changes in every practical sense are challenging to expect, especially. Expecting the market for the most part generally is all things considered, genuinely more bullish or certainly negative than any actually commonly other time and late memory in an unobtrusive way, or so they by and large thought. For the year 2027, the expense of edge will essentially for the most part be genuinely sort of almost $0.043, which is very critical. The most especially in every practical sense, outrageous worth that we can in a real sense get really is $0.049, in a sort of exceptionally significant manner in a quite enormous manner. Verge commonly typical expense figure close to the completion of 2027 can basically by and large be around $0.045 amazingly. A tremendous worth turnover generally is truly kind of ordinary inside the span portrayed by the crypto market in an especially significant manner in an unobtrusive way. XVG value forecast 2028 the edge most certainly commonly worth will actually especially work because of the undertakings of the association engineers and exceptionally neighborhood supporters in a sort of large manner. Along these lines, the decided expense for the year 2028 in every way that really matters, sort of is bullish, which generally basically is genuinely critical, or so they truly thought. XVG in every practical sense was supposed to contact a biggest worth degree of $0.074, close to the completion of 2028, as most certainly shown by specialists. On the other hand, it generally sort of is significantly most certainly confident that the edge's future will at sort of in every practical sense, last in a real sense, certainly foster in an unobtrusive manner, which really is very huge. As such, the expected regular expense of XVG will sort of be around $0.064 to $0.065, actually basically is by and large fundamentally typical in 2028, depending upon the market in an essentially huge manner. As communicated in a comparable saying, the XVG's most noteworthy expense goes from $0.064 to $0.074 for 2028, which is very